Hi boys and girls. Today I'm going to show you how to make the mandala collage that I created a PowerPoint for. This is my first time making a video on my computer, so it might be a little funny. The first thing I suggest doing is walking around your house and just collecting like boxes that you're no longer using. So this is my daughter's cereal box. I also found a tissue box that I've kind of taken apart. I found a gift bag, I found a magazine, and I found a tea box. So I would say take a moment right now, walk around your house, and find five interesting papers that maybe have patterns or colors or interesting things on them. Okay, once you've found those things, the next step is to pick one of the boxes. I'm going to pick my tissue box here, and you just want to draw a rectangle on it. I would say use a marker if you can. If you don't, a pencil is also fine. The square, a rectangle, doesn't have to be very big. I'm going to make mine kind of smaller, like this. Okay, once you've cut out the square, you do want to cut it out. Afterwards, pick another paper that you like. I really like this Captain Crunch box. It's super colorful. I'm just going to pick a spot that I really like. I really like those colorful sections there, and I'm just going to trace it. And then I'll be cutting out this tracing next. All right, so now I've got two. I'm going to have this one be my base, and then I'm going to cut this one up. To cut this one up, what I'd like you to do is just simply, learning how to draw on the screen is difficult. You're going to draw a line crossing and attaching one corner to the next, making an X, and then just attach in the middle this way and the middle this way, like that. And then you're going to just cut those up into small triangles. Okay, so now I've cut them out. You can see them on my table like this. And what I'm going to do is just apply them to this base here. So I'm going to just place them on top and just try to create an interesting pattern, something I like. I don't want to put everyone on because I want to let some of the color underneath show through. So maybe I just do a few. I really like this colorful piece here, so maybe I put that there. And I can kind of stop there for now. Alright, so I'm gluing this down. One of the challenges when you're gluing this together is if you're using cardboard, it tends to want to really peel up on the corners. So make sure you're using a lot of glue and press it down. You might even want to just stick this under something heavy, walk away and do something else for 10 minutes and come back to it, because it really doesn't like to stay stuck down if you're using cardboard. Paper will work much better. So I have a base for this, but it's still pretty boring, and a mandala should have lots of interesting repeated patterns. Here I have a few triangles, but I need a lot more. So what I'm going to do is take one of my leftover triangles and just start to trace it on top of the different things that I have. So I've got this bag here, I've got this magazine. I can go through the magazine and find some interesting pictures, colors, or even just plain words. And I'm going to start to trace those and cut them out. You should do the same. Okay, so I've traced, as you can see here, a couple different triangles from the different magazines I've had and from the bag that I had, the wrapping bag. And all I'm going to start to do is cut them in half a little bit. I don't want them all to be the same size because then it's going to cover up what I've done. So I'm going to cut these in half and start to arrange the halves where I'd like them to be. And there's no right or wrong answer. You can cut them, move them around, have this kind of fun money pattern here. It looks like my picture is turning out greener than I thought it would be. And the whole fun part about this lesson is mixing different patterns together and creating something new. So you started off with a plain cereal box, and by the time you're done, you're starting to create this thing that has wacky patterns. So I would say for the next couple minutes with your pieces of paper, just cut the triangles in half and move it around and come up with an interesting pattern design. There's no right or wrong answer. Okay, so now I've cut out a lot of triangles and layered them. You can see that I've got the bigger ones, and then I've got small ones here, and small ones here. Okay, so you layer it as much as you want, and then I think it works if you add some extra lines on top just to really highlight some of the triangle shapes you've made. So to create lines on top, I would suggest just taking a scrap piece of paper, finding colors you like. I happen to like this red in the berry, and all I'm going to do is just snip some thin lines like this. Very easy, just snipping, snipping, snipping. And when I cut it out, I've got stripes that I can add to my picture. These are just stripe lines that I can add to my picture. And by the way, if you're using, like I was using a bag, I got this extra ribbon from this gift bag here. And I can use this as a line on my picture too. So I'm having a little trouble cutting it. But what you'll do is put these things on top of your collage and just arrange them in ways that you like. Okay, so I've taken some time, I've taken about 5-10 minutes, and I've cut up some different lines and added it to my picture, and I feel like the lines really help all the different shapes to stand out. You can see that I used ribbon in here with the red, and then some of the blue here and the red here is just more my Captain Crunch cereal box. Now when you glue this down, of course, the edges are all wacky, so when you're done, you can just take your scissors and snip off the parts that are sticking off so that you have a nice, neat, sharp edge. And if you want to leave parts hanging, like this kind of looks like a kite, I can leave it that way, or I can cut it off. It's really up to you. But what I think is kind of fun about this assignment is that you basically made a really interesting piece of art, and all you did was use a few boxes lying around your apartment and scissors and glue.